Before we start today's episode, I'd like to send my sincerest condolences to the community in Oxford, Michigan, who, if you have not heard by now, had a tragic school shooting happen the other day. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families that have lost loved ones, especially dealing with losing teenagers. I've been in that situation where, not in the school shooting, but I have lost someone that was close to me while they were young a couple times in my life, actually. So I can somewhat relate to what these families and community is dealing with right now. And I know how hard it is to get that phone call that you would never expect to hear that your loved one is gone at such a young age. So from all of us here at Hardball Sports, we again send our condolences to you guys, and our thoughts and prayers are with you guys. There's no words that I can say to make anything better. I hope you guys really find the comfort and that you need right now. Really not an easy situation at all. And I hope for the next 15 minutes or however long this episode is, I can help you guys in any way by just keeping your minds off things by talking about something as small as sports. That's one thing that has helped me throughout the years in a lot of things is keeping my mind off something by watching a game or talking or listening sports with somebody. So I really hope for the next 15, 20 minutes, however long this episode is, that I can help you guys in even the smallest ways on just make you guys have a good time listening to sports. With that being said, here's today's episode. Hello, everyone. Thank you for checking out today's episode of Hardball Sports Talk, brought to you by Hardball Sports Media. My name is Brandon. Today is Thursday, December 2nd, and we have a lot to talk about today. A lot of stuff going on in all the sports, really. Really exciting times for me. Like if you listen to the podcast on Wednesday, so yesterday, with the Javier Baez signing with the Tigers, I brought this up. There's some weeks where it's like, man, what do I talk about? And then there's other weeks I'm like, man, I can't cover all this stuff. Like, what am I going to take out? And that's kind of where we're at today. There's a lot of stuff going on in sports, a lot that I can talk about. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a few stories. I don't really have a number set in mind right now. And we're going to talk about things that I have more knowledge about than others. So not sure how long this one's going to be for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoy it, though. The big story of the week right now is MLB's probably going to have a lockout. I'm recording this Wednesday night, so the lockout's going to happen. Well, by the time you guys are listening to this, the lockout started. They have until Wednesday, December 1st at midnight to come to an agreement, and it's not going to happen by midnight Wednesday night. Like I said, you guys are listening to this one the day after I'm recording it, so it's not going to happen, unfortunately. So it looks like MLB is going to have a lockout. And I've been thinking about this. So if you listen to the podcast that I released on Wednesday, there's been a lot of signings in baseball the last week or so. And I'm wondering if the lockout has to do with that. Normally, in a baseball offseason, there's not this much action before December. Normally, the big names don't sign until January is really what happens. But this year, you got Scherzer, you got Robbie Ray, you got Baez, you got Rodriguez, the pitcher the Tigers signed. You got Stroman signing with the Cubs today. You got Semien, you got Seager down with Texas. There's a lot of big fish signing, guys. And as a baseball fan, I absolutely love how hot the hot stove is right now. And it's a shame that this lockout is going to stop this all from happening. But like I said, I have a feeling this lockout's a reason why this is happening. I could be completely wrong here, but that's just my gut telling me. The players want guaranteed money because nobody really knows what's going to happen after the lockout ends. Baseball cannot afford this lockout to go too long. If there's any threat of games being missed, they're going to lose a lot of fans. Now, there's going to be some hardcore baseball fans like me who, no matter what happens, I'm going to watch baseball. But not everyone's like Brandon, and everyone's probably out there like, thank goodness there's not more of you. But that's besides the point there. But there's not a lot of people out there that are gonna watch baseball no matter what. Like I don't have a number, but they're gonna lose a lot of fans if they have a lockout that makes them miss games. They're gonna lose fans just for having this lockout. So they need to get this taken care of as soon as they can, because the longer this goes, the worse it gets for baseball. Speaking of baseball, there's another story going on that the news of it dropped about the time that I started recording last night, maybe a little bit before, but I didn't have enough time to do enough research on it to actually see what's going on. But last year, Major League Baseball used two different baseballs. So baseballs are come in different not sizes, I guess, but like different weights and are different way the ball's made and stuff like that. I'm not entirely sure on all the science on that. And I'm sorry for that. But basically, some baseballs are designed to travel farther than others, and they had two different types of baseballs going last year. They told the players, listen, we don't like how many home runs are being hit, so we're going to make a new baseball, and we're going to release it in 2021. And everyone said, okay, cool. But then COVID happened, and we're not going to get into the pandemic too much here, but COVID happened, so Rawlings, the company that makes the baseballs for Major League Baseball, they could not make the baseballs fast enough to get the supply that MLB needed to do a whole season. And so they were like, okay, well, we got these baseballs from last year, so let's just do that. Apparently, they didn't tell the teams about this, though. So baseball's got two baseballs, and they're not telling the teams about it. Allegedly. This is all alleged. I haven't heard that they've told the teams. They could have, very well could have, but I have not heard about that. And I was listening to a different podcast about the Detroit Tigers, and they brought up a really good point. So, did baseball pick and choose what games these baseballs are going to go to? So, like, let's say you have a primetime game against the Yankees-Red Sox. Well, you want that game to be as exciting as possible. So you're going to send the home run balls to that game. But if you got, let's say, the Tigers playing the Orioles, not many people are going to be watching that baseball game unless if it was the series where Miguel Cabrera could have hit his 500th career home run. That's the only scenario where people are watching the Tigers-Orioles series. And are you going to send the crappy baseballs to that game because nobody cares about that game? There's a lot of questions that we don't know the answer to, and I don't like Rob Manfred anyways. I don't really like any of the commissioners right now in sports, and I don't know if I've done a podcast about that or not. I know I've wanted to, but I know this right here. The commissioner's job is not to make the fans happy. His job is to make the owners money, and Manfred has made baseball owners money. Hopefully let's say that this story is true, that Major League Baseball did have two different baseballs and tampered with games and stuff like that. I'm really hoping that this gets Manfred out. Manfred needs to go. He's not good for baseball. He's ruining baseball. He's worse for baseball than Gary Bettman is for hockey, and that's saying something as somebody that does not like Gary Bettman either. But, Manfred just needs to go. MLB hired Theo Epstein in the last couple years to work in their front offices, and a lot of people around baseball figure that Theo Epstein is the next commissioner of baseball. So, you have a guy in waiting that a lot of people like. I love Theo Epstein. I think he'd be great for baseball. Let's bring him in. And since we're on the topic of the lockout and commissioner and stuff like that, Tony Clark, I loved him as a baseball player, but he's got to go as the union rep. Again, I was listening to a podcast a couple weeks ago, and they brought up a really good point. The last lockout, the players' union rep was a lawyer who has experience in these kind of things. Tony Clark is a former player, and he might know things. He probably does. He's been doing this job for a while now. But the players' union needs somebody in there that's a lawyer that knows the ins and outs of the law and how to get the best for the players. Tony Clark, he might have the best intentions in the world, but he does not know how to do things. And I think that's a big reason why we're having lockouts this year, is because the players don't really have a good union rep going for them. So hopefully the Players Association can get somebody in there too, and we can get some baseball going. I don't think it's going to happen this time around with Tony Clark getting replaced, but I really hope that the players really do look into getting somebody different to represent them. So that's the baseball talk we have for you guys. Um, Lots of free agent signings, and unfortunately, the baseballs and the lockout are overshadowing those. But if you saw my Facebook post the other day, Scherzer got a big contract. Robbie Ray got a big contract. Texas has been really busy. So really exciting times for free agents and stuff like that. But unfortunately, it's going to be slow for the next who knows how long. I really hope this lockout doesn't last too long. But time will tell on that. But like I said, Major League Baseball cannot afford to lose games. The next thing we're going to talk about is the coaching carousel going on in college football. I'm not huge on college football. I'll watch a game here and there, but I work a lot of Saturdays, so I'm not able to watch a lot of college football. But I am a Michigan fan, so Michigan beat Ohio State this week. Finally, go blue. Uh, but we're not going to talk about that today. The coaching carousel. So Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma to go to USC. That was kind of, I'm not going to say a shock because, I mean, USC is a premier job and Oklahoma, like, yeah, he's gotten Oklahoma back, and Oklahoma is a premier job too. But the Pac 12 is a lot less competitive than the SEC, which Oklahoma, I believe, is going in the SEC in the next couple of years. And then Brian Kelly left Notre Dame to go to LSU. That one shocked me, not going to lie. I figured Brian Kelly was going to stay at Notre Dame, but money talks, and they offered him enough money to leave. I've heard reports on both of these that the assistant coaches were not aware and that they were on recruiting trips, and they were in people's living rooms saying, hey, let's come to LSU, come to Oklahoma, come to Notre Dame. We're going to build things here. And then they walked out the door and pulled out their phone and saw this, and they're like, man, we look like jerks right now. And that's the sad part of this, is like these coaches now, nobody can be trusted because it just came out of left field like that. And it's kind of sad, but at the same time, it's what's happened all the time with these guys. The transfer portal has made it a lot of an easier pill to swallow. It used to be that if a player wanted to transfer, he had to sit out a year. But if a coach wanted to go from Notre Dame to LSU, for example, he could just pack his bags and go and coach the next year. And it was kind of frustrating as a fan to see that. And then the players were kind of stuck at their college for 3 to 4 years in any sport. Basketball, the lone exception, really. But, it is what it is. But yeah, so that's the college world for you. So without further ado today, let's get to the NFL. We're going to do our game picks here now. Let's look at last week and how we did. Last week, the Lions lost a nail-biter on the last-second field goal to the Bears on Thanksgiving Day. By the way, I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving, full of good food and good times with your friends and family. But yeah, Thanksgiving started off with the Bears beating the Lions 16-14. We got that game right. The Cowboys lost to the Raiders 36-33. We picked the Cowboys to win that game. And then the Bills absolutely destroyed the Saints 31-6 on the primetime game on Thanksgiving. We got that one right. And then on Sunday, the Bengals beat the Steelers 41-10. We got that one right. The Bucks beat the Colts 38-31. We got that one right. The Dolphins beat the Panthers 33-10. We picked the Panthers to win that game, so we got that one wrong. The Patriots beat the Titans 36-13. The Patriots look like they're legit. We picked them to win that game, but the Patriots are playing some really good football. Bill Belichick, greatest coach of our generation, if not all time. Really good coach, obviously. Going to be in the Hall of Fame someday whenever he retires. The Giants beat the Eagles 13-7. We picked the Eagles to win that game. The Falcons beat the Jaguars 21-14. The Jets also beat the Texans 21-14. We got both those games right. The Broncos beat the Chargers 28-13. We got that one wrong. Packers beat the Rams 36-28. We got that one wrong. Niners beat the Vikings 34-26. We got that one right. The Ravens beat the Browns 16-10. And then on Monday night, the Washington football team beat the Seahawks 17-15. So overall, we got 9 games right last week. So not a great week, but it's been a tough season for predicting games. A lot of upsets this year. So let's look at this week's matchups. Tonight we got the Cowboys playing the Saints. I'm going to take the Cowboys to win this one. Taysom Hill is going to start for the Saints. I really want to pick the Saints there. But I'm going to take the Cowboys. I think their defense is really good this year, or better than before anyways. And I don't think they'll have a problem with Taysom Hill at quarterback for the Saints. Now we got the Buccaneers and the Falcons. I'm going to take the Bucs to win that one. They're playing really good football, coming back against a good Colts team last week to win that game. Props to Tom Brady and company. Now we got the Cardinals and the Bears. We're going to take the Cardinals on this one. And then the Chargers and the Bengals. I'm going to go with the Bengals. I think the Bengals actually have a legitimate shot to win their division. Now the Vikings against my Lions. I want the Lions to win this game. I'm going to root for them like I do every week, but I'm going to pick the Vikings to win. Then the Giants and the Dolphins. I'm going to take the Dolphins to win this game. And the Jets and the Eagles. We're going to take the Eagles here. The Colts and the Texans. We're going to take the Colts. A lot of kind of boring games this week, not going to lie. None of these games are like, hey, I really want to watch that matchup. Maybe the Chargers-Bengals, that's really the only matchup so far that's gotten me really excited. Besides, Thursday night looks pretty good, though, with the Cowboys and the Saints. But anyways, let's keep going here. We got the Washington football team versus the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm going to take the Washington football team on this game. Now we got Jacksonville at L.A. LA's lost 3 straight, but I'm going to take them to win this game. The Rams, Matthew Stafford in his career has struggled against winning teams. The Jaguars are not a winning team, so that's basically why I'm picking them. But it'll be interesting to see if Stafford can get a couple wins against quality teams this year or not. Now we got the Ravens and the Steelers. I'm going to take the Ravens. I think the Steelers are by far the worst team in that division. Now we got the Niners and the Seahawks. I'm going to take the Niners to win that one. Sunday night, we got the Broncos and the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs to win. And then Monday night, we got the Patriots and the Bills. Probably one of the best matchups of the week. I'm going to take the Patriots to win this game. A little bit of an upset there. But like I said, the Patriots are playing really good football right now. And they're a really good team. Now it's time for my favorite clip of sports this week. And unlike other weeks, this is not a highlight reel play. This is not a big time play. Like, this isn't like making a play in a big game, like scoring a goal in the national championship game like we did with NMU in 91. We showed that clip. This is college football. Rice University against LA Tech. Both teams are 3-8 coming into this game. Rice has a secondary player by the name of Gabe Taylor. Gabe is the younger brother of late NFL safety Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor would have been one of the best safeties of all time in the NFL if he would still be with us today. If you listen to the What If podcast we had a while back, which I'll put that in the description, Sean Taylor passed away tragically at a very young age, and Gabe is his younger brother. And this is a really cool clip. Gabe got an interception in the closing seconds of the game against LA Tech. And what's really cool about this interception, that it's my favorite play of sports this week, is because this game happened on November 27th, 2021. Sean Taylor died on November 27th, 2007. So 14 years to the day after his brother's death, he makes a game-ending interception. And that gives me goosebumps when I heard that. Like, Sean Taylor, like I said, would have been one of the best safeties of all time if he would still be with us today. Unfortunately, like I said, he's no longer with us. So without further ado, here is my favorite clip of the week.
2nd and 10, 24 seconds remain. Head flushed out. Head, all sorts of time. He's going to throw it back across his body. Intercepted. Bad decision from Head. Sean Fresh. Gabe Taylor has it. I beg your pardon. Taylor, second straight week with an interception.
They flush Head out of the pocket. They flush him to the left once again, and this is one thing that Head has got to learn to stop doing. You cannot throw the ball across your body like that unless your name is Brett.
Thank you, everyone, again for checking out today's episode of Hardball Sports Talk, brought to you by Hardball Sports Media. My name is Brandon. Be sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down in the comment box if you guys enjoyed this. Give me ideas for future things you'd like to have on this channel or podcast ideas. I'm always open for those. If you guys aren't subscribed to the podcast, links for those are in the description. Be sure to like and follow those. Also, the Facebook and Instagram pages are in the description. So be sure to follow those pages as well. I hope you guys have a great week. Go Lions. Hopefully we can get the win this week. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a great day.